And we're back. We're starting off with Yassi. Super excited to hear her story. You guys are going to love this. Yassi, here's your question. You came to the U.S. from Iran after winning the green card lottery with the intent to continue studying physics, but then fell in love with real estate after purchasing your first home in 2014. From then, you've been on a roll, getting your real estate license in 2015, growing your business year after year, and finishing out 2020 as the #1 agent in your office and closed sales. You certainly have an incredible story, and I'm sure you've learned a lot along your journey. But if you had to pick one lesson that you'd like to share with us today, what would it be and why?
The most valuable lesson that I learned, it was to believe in myself. Because first, when I wanted to get into the real estate industry, everyone around me was telling me, you're crazy. Like, you're crazy. You're not in the age that you can change your career, and you want to go in a like commission-based job. You want to get a commission-based job, and how are you gonna compete with the other agents out there that they have 20 plus years experience? And I was going back and forth to see like, oh my God, they're right. Like, how am I gonna do this? But I was extremely lucky to have a really supportive family, and they were by my side, and they're like, you don't know if you're gonna be successful or not if you don't do it.
Right.
And they were like really pushing me to do it. And so when I started in the real estate, I was really nervous, and there were a lot of times I was getting frustrated at first because the company that I was with at the time, I was getting no support, and I was getting frustrated, and they were like keep telling me that, hey, no, believe in yourself, you will be able to do it. And I am just so happy that I listened to them, and I'm like, okay, if I wouldn't believe in myself, I couldn't be here right now.
Yeah.
So every time not only in real estate, even in my life, there is like challenges in everyone's life, right? So I keep remember that, hey, I need to believe in myself, and I can't tell you how easy it becomes to overcome that time or like that hardship that I'm going through, as soon as I remember that I need to believe in myself.
I love that. Now, was there a specific point in time that perhaps you did not have such faith in yourself?
Oh, absolutely. At first when I started, and then it was after 2 years, because I was like, okay, I can't take my business to the next level, so that's it. I gotta slack, that's it. So it was like really frustrating, and I was like thinking like what I need to do was like reading, studying to see what I can do. I talked to a couple coaches, but they weren't really good enough to tell me like what to do, and I was like, oh, that's it. All the coaches are like that. Yeah. I'm screwed. Here is the point that I won't be able to do anything. And again, I was like, I talked to my parents, and my dad was like, you always figured it out. So I'm sure you will figure it out now. Like, go talk to other people that they've been through this. And that's when I started like reaching out to people, and I was always like a little scared to like, oh my God, I'm gonna give them a call, and they're gonna be like, who is this person giving us a call? And I was like, okay, they don't know me, and the worst case is they're gonna hang up their phone on me, right? And that's it. So I started like calling people, and I was really surprised by the way that they were responding. They're like, oh my God, we never had someone to give us a call and ask us this question. And they helped me through it. They're like, hey, this is what we do. This is what we recommend you to do. And I just listened to them. I'm like, okay, these are successful people. These are successful agents. And I just like believed in myself again. I was like, I can do it. And I did it.
Fantastic. I love that. During our conversation, you made it really clear that buying your home in 2014 really was the catalyst for you. What was it about you buying your first home that really got you so interested and intrigued to be in the space of real estate?
Well, I always loved interior designs and all that, but I didn't have the eye for it. I didn't have the vision for it, so I never even like considered it as a job. But I love that, and we hear it from a lot of people. Like all of my clients, they buy a house, but they keep looking at the houses, and they keep sending me links, and I'm like, you guys bought a house? Like, what are you doing now? But we just like really love looking at houses. So I bought the first house that I bought. It was a foreclosure. It was a distressed property that I purchased, and I just remodeled the whole thing. And I loved it. It was a hate-love basically feeling that I had because I hated to deal with like a lot of contractors that they weren't on time. They were saying that they're going to do this. They weren't doing it. So I had to actually fire 3 contractors. Wow. And then it was really hard, but I really enjoyed it. And what happened was I was like keep looking at houses. I was like keep looking like online on Redfin, and then my friends were looking for a house. I would go with them to their showings, and I would point out that you know, like positive points or negative points. And I remember one time one of my friends was like, well, you know, I really don't like the kitchen layout. And I'm like, well, you can spend money and fix it. That's not an issue, you know? I know it costs money, but it's fixable. Take a look at other stuff. You like the floor plan, you like the location and all that. And then her agent was like, you really need to be an agent. And I'm like, I've been thinking about it. And I talked to her and she's like, yeah, you know, you're good. And yeah, that's the process. I loved it. I love the process of like remodeling it and like, you know, seeing that, oh, it looked before and after pictures and I was showing it to other people. I really enjoyed that.
That's amazing. Well, it's evident because you're doing incredibly well. And the next question I would have to ask before I open it up to the other panelists is, what's next for you? Are you planning to just kind of maintain for what you did last year, or are you wanting to take your business to the next level?
No, I want to take my business to the next level. Last year, I did great, and I'm really grateful to all the people who helped me. But I want to grow my business. I started a team beginning this year. Yeah, now I have 2 showing agents because most of the clients that I work with, they're buyers, and I'm trying to focus on listings more. Okay. So they're really helping me with that. And then I have a transaction coordinator. I'm actively looking for a really good admin. So if you guys know anyone, just let me know. I'm actively looking to hire an admin, and my goal is to have a team of 10 people. By
what date?
In 5 years.
5 years.
Within the next 5 years, yes.
I thought you'd be like, next month.
No.
Incredible. Yes. Fantastic. Well, do you guys have any questions for her? No? Okay. Mike, you're up next.
I've got a quick question. So
ahead.
Tell me about, like, obviously coming to a new country and then starting a career. I mean, what are the challenges that you've seen between obviously starting a career in real estate versus just coming into the U.S.? Like, are there similarities? Was that something that you already were kind of like, I'm used to something completely new, and that's why you tried real estate, or how'd that work?
That's a great question, actually. There was a lot of challenges moving to the new country. My English wasn't like good at all. Like, I could understand, but I couldn't speak the language. So it was definitely challenging to learn that. And then going to school, it was like really hard going to school because I knew all this stuff, but I couldn't like explain it. You know, right. It was hard. So I remember the first semester I had to take classes. I had to take some math and physics classes that I took like back in high school to just learn the language. So I can learn the language. It was extremely hard to basically figure out how everything works. The culture is different. The system is different. It was extremely hard. When I got into real estate, it was really hard in some levels because I was working as an investment banker and I knew everything, and I was an expert in my job, and now I had to like switch career to get into another career which I know nothing about. Yeah. So it was kind of like similar, and I knew English, but the language, the real estate language, right. Was like totally different. I remember when I got my license, someone asked me if you're a broker, and I'm like, yeah, and they're like, oh, when did you get your license? And I was like, a couple months ago, and they're like, how are you a broker? And I'm like, what do you mean? And then I understood, like years later, I'm like, oh, they meant managing broker. So that's
you got good at adapting. Like, you adapt very well. That's awesome. That's a skill. That's really cool.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, Yassi, thank you so much for that.